Madison is an American social media influencer who enjoys her vacation in the beaches of Thailand and spends most of her time in luxury hotels. But she was not happy enough because her friend Ryan was not with her. One day, an eccentric British guy was trying to get to know her, but Madison didn't want to until another girl interrupted him. Her name is CW, and I rescued her from the situation and then went with her afterward, where I got to know her, and invited her to take a tour and share the trip because she knows Thailand so well. Madison agreed, and spent one of the most beautiful days of her life with her, and filmed a lot of content for her followers. But when they separated, and Madison returned to her home, she was shocked by the door of her room open and her clothes scattered. Everywhere, her passport was stolen, and she realized it was stolen. The next day, CW helped her obtain the necessary documents to resolve the passport issue. But it would take at least 2 weeks, so she asked her to spend some time with her at her house until this period was over. So Madison accepted and went with her. She spent a few days at her house and became her companion until one day, CW gave her a surprise and took her on another trip, but on his own boat, to a completely isolated island. They spent the night enjoying themselves on the beach of this island, and when night came, while they were exchanging pleasantries, CW said to her as a joke, and she said, "I will leave you, and when you wake up, you will realize that I am gone, and there is no phone signal, and no one can help you." So she thought that just a gesture from her new friend, but it wasn't that at all. The next morning, while Meads was sleeping, CW took all her things and set off for her home, leaving Meads asleep in the middle of the remote island. Without any supplies, CW then began using Madison's social media account, impersonating her, and living in her house with her money. She used editing software to replace her features with Madison's features in a professional manner, and published them on her accounts as if she were her. She also changed her voice with special programs to make her own calls so as not to raise suspicions around her. Her disappearance appeared, and she lived like this for several days, until one day she saw another tourist on Instagram called Jessica. So she followed her and began to follow her everywhere until the right opportunity came one day, and I got to know her, and in the same way as in the beginning, she invited her on a trip, and then during that period, she stole a key from her room. When night fell, she sneaked into her room and stole her passport, as she did with Midson. When Jessica discovered that her passport had disappeared, CW offered her to stay at her house until she got another passport. But when they went to the house, they found that there were many roses and romantic decorations in front of the door. When they entered, CW was surprised. Brian at home came for his beloved doctor, who had warned her of all these circumstances, but he could not find her, as CW had told him. She left without telling her where she was and spent the night. He looks for a plan to trick Ryan so he won't find out. The next day, she called him from Madison's number and used her voice in a professional program and asked him to leave and separate. But despite the professional voice, that is, the words seemed strange and illogical to Ryan, and he refused to leave, and then he participated with them in their tour. During that time, Ryan was talking to Jessica about his girlfriend Madison, where he told her that she had been robbed and he had been robbed. Her passport arrived, and then Jessica began to suspect CW because what happened to her was exactly the same as what Ryan told her. As the night fell, Jessica texted Madison and asked her to talk about the robbery she had been exposed to, because she had been exposed to the exact same thing, but as it was. It is known that CW had Madison's phone, so she knew that Jessica had revealed her matter and followed her after she returned home to collect her things. CW asked her why she left, and Jessica replied that she did not feel safe in this place because she had been lied to. Ryan said it was Madison's house, and CW said it was her house, and she had never told her anything about Madison before, and kept it from her. She later accused her of stealing her passport, called her a weirdo, and left. But SW did not allow her to leave the house and hit her from behind, causing her to fall to the ground unconscious. Then I killed her and got rid of her body in the bag. And when Ryan returned home, Jessica tried to get rid of him as well, and carried the knife. But she saw a photo that Ryan posted of Jessica in which CW appeared, and this may be evidence against her. So CW canceled the order to get rid of him and approached his car without erasing all the existing evidence, and, in the morning, I told him. Jessica left the house and posted a photo of her friend Madison with another man. Ryan became sad and confused, so CW took advantage and put a stimulant in his drink, brought him home, drugged him, unlocked his phone with his face, and deleted photos of Jessica from her Instagram. The next morning, Real left CW's house, but he did not despair and went to the hotel. It featured Meads with another man, and he asked about her everywhere around the hotel until he met the British man whom Meads first met. Ryan shows him her picture and tells her that she was robbed at this hotel. The man recognized her and told him that she was with a woman who had a birthmark on her face. He also told him that the picture he was holding was her. It was not taken these days because there were no clouds in the sky. It's the rainy season now, and there hasn't been a sunny day in this place for weeks. So Ryan realizes that the CW has been lying to him all along, and that Madsen's photo may have been fabricated. After reviewing the recent photos and videos, and after checking the posts on Madsen's account, he discovered that they were fake videos after he saw the appearance of a CW birthmark on Madsen's face. The next day, Ryan returns to CW's house and searches it and finds Madsen's diary, in which she wrote her diary with CW on the isolated island, further confirming his suspicions. When CW returned, and when W returned home, Ryan hid and hit her in the head with a rock, causing her to faint. CW then woke up tied to a chair. Ryan questioned her and asked her to tell him where Madsen was, or he would call the police. But CW made up messages from Madsen's account that he was hitting her, so he would be charged too. And when Ryan realized that he said telling the police wasn't a possibility, he took out the knife instead and said, "If you don't tell me, I will kill you." CW then took him to her boat to take him to the remote island. When he saw his bag containing Jessica's body, CW sent him with a surprise attack, and he fell into the sea. Then she overwhelmed him with her watercrafting skills. She swam until he drowned, put his body in the boat, and transported him and Jessica's body to the remote island to get rid of them. But there was a shock, as she found fish roasted in the fire and the remains of coconuts on the beach. Realizing that Madsen is still alive, she takes the shovel and enters the island to end what happened. I started it and killed Tab, and after a period of searching, Tab appeared and surprised her with a strong attack from behind, knocking her to the ground, then killing her with another strong blow. Madsen boarded the boat after seeing her friend Rand's body and set off, leaving CW behind on the island.